National Women's Political Caucus of the South Bay. It is a multi-partisan organization that recruits, trains, and helps to elect women to political office. I want to thank the City of Torrance and Women's March LA Foundation Emiliana Gureca for this incredible event. I'm proud to be a resident of the South Bay. I have lived in the South Bay for almost 30 years with my husband, Gordon Shea. Everybody knows Gordon Shea. And he is very supportive of this event. Everybody give a shout out to Gordon Shea, please. We raised our children here and we love the South Bay. So, why do we have a voter registration rally today? Most scholars believe that the right to vote is a fundamental right. Voting represents the ultimate of self-governance and a way of strengthening our vigorous democracy. The right to vote is the right to express and represent ideas. I'm passionate about democracy. Americans must exercise their right to vote, and voting begins with registering.
Yes! First step.
We want South Bay families to meet some of our leaders who make our democracy great, and you're going to meet some great leaders today. That is the inspiration for the NWPC South Bay Women's March Pledge to Vote voter registration rally. Today and every day is about civic engagement. Pledge to vote. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to introduce Mayor Dr. Nicole Robinson from Congresswoman Maxine Waters' office.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Nicole Robinson, Dr. Nicole Robinson from Congresswoman Maxine Waters' office. I bring you greetings and welcome this morning for this amazing event. Can we give a hand?
Yeah.
I'd just like to say to Dr. Shea,
Here's someone who didn't get a civics lesson.
we are so happy that you are here today for this amazing
They're
event.
gonna impeach her.
Congresswoman Waters wishes she could have been here this morning. She's actually traveling, but she's here in spirit. And she just wanted you to know today, this is the day of the woman, and we need you guys to come out. We need you in the community to pledge, to vote. We need your spirit. We need you in the fight. And we just thank you this morning for coming out and sharing in this amazing occasion. And we thank you so very much for coming.
Good morning. I'm Emiliana. I am the founder of Women's March Los Angeles. Thank you for continuing to show up, for continuing to show up for democracy. Arthur, we see you. We feel you. I want to make sure that everyone knows that this is about saving democracy. I want to make sure that everyone knows to be respectful. To be respectful in this space. So, with that, we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And we're going to have a moment of silence. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justice for all. Thank you. Now I will introduce you to the American Legion Auxiliary Women's Color Guard, hosting of colors.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, march. Color guard, left, hey. Forward, left column, march.
And now I'd like to introduce the mayor of the city of Torrance, Patrick Fury. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your hospitality in this wonderful event.
Thank you, Dr. Shea. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to thank the Women's March Los Angeles and Dr. Shea, who has been the catalyst to put this on, for bringing it to our city of Torrance. On behalf of my colleagues on the city of Torrance, the 147,195 people who call Torrance their home, thank you for being here. Now, you've heard the word preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to the choir right now because everybody here knows how important our votes are. But we have to resonate with the whole community, outside of Torrance, outside the beach cities, outside the hill cities, and get everybody registered to vote. As everybody knows, this is the most important election ever.
Amen.
My wife Terry and I were in Ireland just last month and found out that women had the right to vote in Ireland 3 years before we got the right here in America. That's appalling that it took so long to have it. The ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment, has still not passed. Still not passed. Just to put the word woman in our Constitution. We have to fight for that. But right now, it's getting people out to register to vote and to vote on November 6th. This is the most important election. Can I hear that? This is the most important election. This is the most important election. This is the most important election. Thank you very much for being here. Let's have a great day.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much for hosting us and having us in your city, our city, the city of Torrance. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Helen Williams, Dean of the School of Education and Psychology, who will deliver the peace message. Dr. Williams, and I am an alumna of Pepperdine University. Yay.
Good morning, Torrance.
Good morning, Torrance.
Good morning, citizens of the United States of America. Good morning, good people living in the United States of America. Today is a good day. Today is a great day. Today is a day that we will mark in our individual and collective histories as the day when we took a stand for that which is right. Right for men, right for women, right for Hispanics, right for Asians, right for African Americans, right for everyone, right for Native Americans, right for those who have a difference in the way they live and move and have their being. Today is a day that we will mark in our individual and collective histories. A day when all God's people come together for one express purpose. Regardless of race, color, creed, gender, regardless of the color of our hair, the thickness of our lips, the let's see, the number of tracks we have in our weave, the number of shoes we have in our closet, regardless, we all come together for one express purpose, and that is for equality and equity for everyone. For everyone. In the land of the free and the home of the brave, for everyone. I have come to deliver the peace message. But there is a rumbling in my spirit. I have come to bring the peace message, but there's something inside of me that is most unsettled. Because you see, I remember that it was August 31st, 1962, when our dear sister Fannie Lou Hamer registered to vote. A sharecropper living on a plantation in Mississippi dared to register to vote. And that very day, because she was big enough and bad enough and bold enough to stand for that which was right, she was beaten to within inches of her death. Just so that she could vote. Just so that she could speak peace to anyone and everyone, just so that she could be equal to all those who stood beside her and in front of her. Beaten. Here we are, 60-some years later, and we're still standing for the same thing that Fannie Lou Hamer stood for. We're still standing. Something is wrong with that. Something is not right about the fact that it's been all these years and we're still standing and still fighting and still marching and still preaching for the same thing. Something is wrong. Many years ago, in the beginning, I am told in my faith tradition that God created heaven and earth. He created man and woman. And after man had done all of his work, God looked at him and said, you're going to need some help. I'm just putting it in Helen's words. He's going to need a little help. And he pulled out of man that which was already within. That which was created in the beginning. He pulled out of man a rib bone, a strong, not dust, not a flighty piece, but strong piece of rib. And he molded and shaped woman. There's a rumbling in my spirit, ladies. There's a rumbling in my spirit, gentlemen. It is time for us women to stand and take that which was given to us in the beginning. It is time for us to stand and speak peace to everyone. Speak peace to every man, woman, boy, and girl, no matter of their origin. It is time for women to forget being in the back seat and get in the front seat, drive this car. Clearly, man has made a mistake. It is time for us. You're going to need a little help. Do we have any help in the house? Is there any help here? Who will stand and speak peace? Who will stand and speak peace? Who will stand and put to rest the rumbling in my spirit? Is it you? Is it you? Is it will you stand? Then get out and vote. Don't stay home. Get out and vote. Don't lounge around the pool. Get out and vote. And get somebody else to go with you. I speak peace to your spirit. I speak peace to your life. I speak peace to your work. I speak peace to your family. I speak peace to everyone here, regardless as to your political inclinations. I speak peace. And I dare you to share it with someone else in November. Bless you. Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. And now I would like to introduce the supervisor of the 4th District, Mrs. Janice Hahn. The National Women's Political Caucus has followed Janice Hahn throughout her political career as on the Charter Commission, on the Los Angeles City Council, on to Congress, and now as our supervisor. So with great pleasure, I would like to introduce Janice Hahn, who has also supported this event from its very inception, from when it was a twinkle in our eye. So, Janice.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. First, let's give it up for Carmen Shea, who has organized this event, who has kept NWPC South Bay on the move all these years, is my appointee on the LA County Women's and Girls Initiative. She's fighting for equality, equal access for women. Give it up for Carmen. Okay, we're all going to say the same thing this morning, but we all have to say it. This November election is special. And by the way, this year already more women than ever before have won primaries in their races up and down ballots across this country. And they are heading to take office in November. And having more women in government matters. Women, as we all know, bring a different energy. We bring a different experience, a different perspective to our jobs. But women will never get a fair deal from their government if it is controlled overwhelmingly by men and for men. We've seen this too many times. 27 years ago, when Anita Hill spoke out about the sexual harassment she endured at the hands of Clarence Thomas, she was belittled and ignored by the Senate Judiciary Committee made up of 100% white men. 20 years later, there's only 4 women on that committee out of 21 members. Dr. Blasey Ford is going through the same thing Anita Hill did. And the only way we can change this, I believe, is to send more women to Congress. I'm here today to encourage everyone, no matter what your age, no matter what your party, to vote. But I especially want to end my remarks by speaking to the young people who are here. Of course, by the way, everybody looks like a young person to me today. But in the past 2 years, I've seen you find your political voice. When young people were gunned down, you organized marches across this country. When sexual harassment in Hollywood made headlines, you shared your Me Too stories. Young people are speaking truth to power. You are calling out injustices. You are calling out those of us who are elected when we're not paying attention to the right things. And you are shaping a better society for my grandchildren. And yes, I have 5. Hard to believe. You have found your political voice, but listen to me. You need to find your political power. In the last midterm elections, only 1 in 5 of young people voted. Only 1 in 5 of you bothered to vote. I'm confident this tide is turning. The youngest generation of voters now has more qualified voters than any generation before it. You have the power to change our nation's politics if you choose to. So this November, if you believe we need common sense gun violence legislation, tweet about it. then vote. If you believe we are wasting time when we should be addressing global warming, tweet about it, then vote. And if you believe our criminal justice system is biased against people of color, tweet about it, and then, let me hear it, vote. And if you believe the women that come forward, who are brave enough to come forward and talk about their experience with sexual assault and harassment, tweet about it, and then vote and elect incredible women to office. Thank you for coming out to here today. Register to vote if you're not already, but make sure you vote. And on behalf of Los Angeles County, all 10 million people of us, I wanted to present to Carmen Shea of the National Women's Political Caucus South Bay a certificate commemorating this incredible event today. Thank you. And then we'll take a picture with both of you. And we can vote, but let's have a photo op before. And then to the Women's March LA Foundation, Emiliana Guerreca. Yes, I presented also on behalf of the 10 million of LA County. We are with you today. We thank you both today for what you're doing. You too will make a difference in November. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Since we are acknowledging these wonderful women, Congresswoman Waters also has provided certificates of special recognition to both Dr. Carmen Shea. Thank you so very much.
Good morning again. I am very moved by these wonderful certificates because these are the things that we are always happy to have in our memory book about the efforts and the things that are happening here today. We are going to make a difference in our communities because everyone is going to vote. Okay? And with that, I would like to introduce Diane Uije, and she is with LA Vote, Executive Director of LA Vote, and she will be introducing our Assemblyman, Al Muratucci.
Can we give a round of applause to Carmen, please? Let's show some love for organizing this. We believe that truth will win. Come on, we believe. We believe that truth will win. 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 We believe that hope 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 will win. We believe that love 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 will win. Come on, we believe that love will win. We believe that love will win. We believe that love will win. Brothers and sisters, it is a beautiful day. Look around, breathe in the fresh air, the blue skies. It is a gorgeous day. And Assembly Member Al Muratucci has worked tirelessly to make sure that the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the ground we walk on remains sacred and pure and livable. Can I get an amen? Let's talk about quality of life. What does it mean to you to have quality in your life?
Al thinks about this every single day. He has to. It's his job as a California representative, as he not only elevates the quality of life in this district, in this beautiful state, he also confronts insidiousness of sexism, insidiousness of racism, insidiousness of poverty, fighting against all forms of sexual harassment, and advocating for the Me Too movement in Sacramento. Can we give that up? To be more specific, last year he introduced the panic button bill. Imagine being a hotel worker and being harassed by men as you're trying to do your job. This bill literally gives them the right to summons immediate support if they feel threatened on the job. He also advocated for legislation that requires all publicly held corporations in California to have at least one woman on their board. Representation is crucial. Can I hear it? Representation is crucial. Can I get an amen? But you know what? Not only is he accountable to you and this district and this state, Al is accountable to the women in his life. Can we get an amen for the women in Al's life? His mother, a former school teacher, and a fellow Nisei, which is what my mother was, a second-generation Japanese American. How crucial it is, not only do we stand with teachers, but all educators across the country. Can we get an amen for that? His wife, Hiroko, is a PhD and former Foreign Development Officer. She is a community leader and a force to be reckoned with. Can we give a hand for Hiroko? And Al is raising his daughter, Sophia Keiko, to be a strong woman, like Hiroko, like his mother, and like you, beautiful, strong, and fierce sisters and brothers here today. I am humbled and honored to introduce a quality of life, environmental justice, educational advocate, Al Muratsuchi.
Thank you, Diane. Oh boy, I have to follow. Let's give it up again for Diane Ogier. You know, Diane Ogier is with the wonderful group LA Voices, an interfaith progressive group that tries to bring people of all different faiths, people of different communities together to support progressive causes. So thank you, Diane. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Carmen. You know, this was months ago, but when Carmen first talking about how she wanted to organize a women's march right here in Torrance, I was thinking, okay, let's do it. But, you know, this would not have happened without Carmen's leadership, so let's give it up for Carmen. So I have the privilege of representing the beautiful South Bay, including right here in Torrance, and going from along the coast from Manhattan Beach all the way down to Palos Verdes, and from the beaches out to the 110 freeway. And I am so excited to be here to support all of our women, all of our men, everyone here who is standing up to fight for women's equality and women's rights. You know, Diane talked a little bit about some of the work that I've been doing as your state representative up in Sacramento to support the Me Too movement. You know, I introduced that panic button bill to help our hotel housekeepers because I wanted to make sure that the Me Too movement was not just about Hollywood celebrities, not just about, you know, professional women who can stand up to fight for their rights, but to immigrant women, to working class women, to all women, so that we extend the Me Too movement to all women in our society. And of course, you know, as a man, as Diane indicated, I'm held accountable every day to my strong and beautiful wife, Hiroko. You know, she could not be here today, but you know, she holds me accountable. I'll leave it at that. And of course, you know, my daughter, Sophia, you know, she just started in the 4th grade, but you know, I am so impressed with her. You know, she started watching the news, CNN, you know, as a 7-year-old, you know, and she's rooting for Hillary. She had a little Hillary, you know, doll, and she was so excited to see the first woman president of the United States. But you know, as we know, you know, when I was able to return to represent the South Bay on that same night, it was like a you know, a surreal experience. On the one hand, I was watching my results coming in, and we were happy about that. But on the other screen, we were seeing this nightmare unfolding. You know, this man who was, you know, admitted on camera, on videotape, bragging about groping women. A real, you know, there we go. You know, and I know we're going to be respectful of free speech rights, but this is what we're fighting against. So we know what we're up against. We know that we are fighting against a president who disrespects women with each and every tweet that he sends out. But we also are dealing with a critical moment in our nation's history, when we are going to convene on Monday, and we're going to see what happens. I mean, the drama is unfolding with every hour. What's going to happen on Monday? Is Dr. Ford going to come forward to testify, to confront? We believe to see. So we believe. We need to stand up now. We need to support Dr. Ford. We need to. Because it's not just about Dr. Ford. It is about women's rights. It is about women's equality. It is about a woman's right to choose. It is about a woman's right to control, not to have the government tell women what to do with their bodies. And so for women and all the men who support women, women's equality, women's rights, now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to register to vote. Now is the time to get out to vote. Let's get out to vote on November 6th. Thank you very much.
Moving forward, using all my breath.
The barbecue is about to start, and we will continue with speeches in about 10 minutes. So hang out, folks. We're ready to eat.